The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Monday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. And we got a mixed market right now. We have the S&Ps positive by 2 points, trading at 38.36. We were as high overnight, backing up the chart. The highs in the S&P, 38.53. So we've given up about 17 points from that high. See the little bit of volatility beginning just prior to 7 a.m. Eastern time. Currently trading 38.36 on the S&Ps, positive by 2 points. Tech stocks, Nasdaq Strength, as usual. Nasdaq 100 up 130 points. That's a full percent right now at 13,493. Got the Dow negative 152 points, 30,757. And the Russell negative by about 11 this morning. Volatility as well, up to a high of 2175 overnight. Put the Russell on a daily. That's an all-time high for the Russell, squeaking it out. Backing up some of the other indexes real quick. When you take a look at the Dow, backing off slightly from the highs that we had. The highs we had looks to be Thursday. But all things considered, folks, every index at all-time highs. And check out the Nasdaq. It just doesn't stop. The Nasdaq making new all-time highs on a daily basis, and the S&Ps as well climbing at 38.59. The highs that we had in the S&P, we made it to a high, as I mentioned, 38.53 this morning. Commodities, Bitcoin. We'll call it a commodity. We'll call it a currency. Bitcoin was down to 28,900 on Friday. Well, add about $5,000 to the price. We're up to 34,545, up $1,000 on the session from where we closed on Friday. Crude contract basically flat at 52.26, but we had some volatility overnight. Friday, you're down to 51.44. I mean, just as recent as about 6 a.m. this morning, we were up to almost $53, back a bit. Gold contract catching a bid this morning up to 1866. The highs of last week, 1874. Friday, we were down below 1840. Silver is up 22 cents this morning at 25.77. And we'll jump to notes and bonds. We're getting a little bit of higher price and lower yield this morning. When we take a look at the yield on the 10-year right now, you're looking at a yield of 1.06%. We were as high as about 1.17%. I remember saying, man, are we going to be at 1.25 in no time after blowing through 1%? When we jammed down to the lows, the low there, about 136.01. We're now up a full 1.5 ticks from the lows of January 12th, still sitting with a yield of about 1.06% on the 10-year. The 30-year is up 21 ticks at 169.17. We'll jump over to the Volatility Index this morning, the VIX, sitting very comfortably at 2360. I mean, all things considered, relatively high VIX compared to historical norms, but a relatively low VIX when you look at where we have been since the COVID pandemic began back in February of last year, sitting at about 2367, putting the VIX on a 15-minute. See a little bit of pricing action to the upside this morning. I mean, the S&Ps were negative by 2, and you're seeing since about 3 in the morning since we've pulled back. In the S&Ps, as I mentioned, we're about 17 points off the highs in the S&Ps, and you see pretty similar territory as in about 6 a.m. when the market started to slide a little bit negative. The VIX, up a little bit from there. All right, where do we go on Monday morning? What is the stock that we want to look at? Well, we'll start it off with a cautionary tale. Be careful shorting stocks in this market, folks, when retail traders are on the other side. GameStop, I mean, let's just for a second zoom in on Friday action. My goodness, look at how parabolic Friday looked, right? You'd say, my goodness, that's a bubble. Well, folks, Friday looks like a blip on this chart compared to the action we're getting this morning on GameStop. You spiked to 136.63. We're currently sitting up about $40. You're going to open like 60% positive on GameStop this morning. This stock, when you put it on a daily, we were trading at $5 as recently as August. I think even you got a 5 handle in September somewhere, did we? Let's see. September 1st, you were trading about $7, and we're trading at $104 this morning, folks. This chart, when you put it on a daily, it does not incorporate today's action just yet. There's the action on GameStop this morning. The headline: more than doubles pre-market as stocks surge continues. No fundamental news. I'll give you the quick take, folks. No fundamental news in this story. The story is people are buying. Parabolic rise has showcased the divide between day traders and bears betting on quick return to reality. Short seller Citron Research said Friday it stopped commenting on the stock due to actions of a quote-unquote angry mob, referring to the backlash by Reddit users. Remarkable, folks, when you look at some of the acceleration this thing has had. 193 million shares traded Friday, marking the most active day for the company since it went public almost 20 years ago. Not exactly how functioning markets are usually behaving. Be careful of that stock if you're in it at all. My goodness, watch out for the variance on that one. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on. Checking out stocks with action today. AMC, another one making headlines, trading higher. So they have secured almost $1 billion in new financing as it deals with the pandemic's impact on movie theater attendance. So that liquidity will allow it to keep operating without resorting to a bankruptcy filing. They should add just yet. $1 billion, yeah, they'll probably get over the hump, hopefully. But man, AMC, talk about struggling businesses right now in the pandemic. There's your chart of AMC. You started to accelerate higher on Friday from 280 to 350. We continue that this morning. You're up from 350 to 480, spiked to 527. You put this thing back on a daily. We were just at $1.91 as recently as January 5th in AMC. The one thing that I will say, folks, every time this thing has gotten a bid recently, the market's woken up to the fact that AMC already had a lot of problems going on, folks, before the world of pandemic. I mean, look at this chart coming into, we were at $34 at the end of 2016. 2017 and 2018, we're sitting at around $15. 2019, you trade from 15 down to about 8. We're sitting at $7 before the pandemic. This morning, you're going to open at $5. I just want to bring you back to the fact that early in 2020, you're trading at $6.35. Does it really make sense for a stock like AMC with all the problems that they've been dealing with for the last 12 months, with all the problems they've been dealing with for the last 4 years as streaming, eats their lunch for business? It just changed the entire scope of their industry. You now have AMC trading at about $5, and you're telling me that in January of last year, when movie theaters were pretty much full for every blockbuster out there, AMC was trading at $6 and change, and this morning you're trading at almost $5 and change? I don't buy that, folks. I don't buy that at all. This thing's going to open, just for some reference, at the highs we had in November before we collapsed to $1.91. So be wary out there of that AMC. All right, what else we got going on? Express, they're also jumping in pre-market. After trading higher on Friday, same deal. They're talking about financing. Some of these tough companies, you secure some financing where you can get on the other side of the max pain situation going on. So there's the action on Friday. You think that's big, right? Up to 179. Well, folks, talk about an acceleration. You go towards the end of the day on Friday, probably on this potential news that they're getting financing, and man, we're going to open at 408. You're going to open more than 100%. But, I mean, we saw this play out on the lows of March, where you had companies accelerating to almost a zero price point on the probability that they might go BK, and things change pretty quickly overnight. When you secure some financing, they might make it over the hump. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back. We've got a lot of action. Big week of earnings coming up. 100 S&P companies more.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The gold report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The gold report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The gold report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the gold report now. Protect your buying power. Order the gold report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the market sitting right where we started the program. The S&P is negative by 2 points. That strong Nasdaq. Be careful that Nasdaq, folks, man. Everyone's talking about a bubble right now all over the financial press, etc. Nasdaq, it's been a one-way up to positive territory, but talk about just continued strength on a daily basis in those tech stocks. We're going to get some big earnings this week. More than 100 stocks in the S&P, was what I was saying right prior to that break, are going to be reporting this week. We get 13 Dow companies as well. We get Microsoft tomorrow after the bell, Microsoft Tuesday, and then we get Facebook, Apple, and Tesla. Facebook, Apple, and Tesla on Wednesday after the bell. That'll be a big one, folks, man. That Nasdaq going to be rocking Wednesday afternoon on those three companies coming out with their earnings. Jumping back to what else we have going on, Express. Express is jumping in pre-market trading. How about a 53% increase in Friday? The apparel retailer this month announced a deal, $140 million in financing, as we mentioned. Okay, so they are higher, we talked about. Jumping still earnings. We're going over some of the companies. Kimberly-Clark, Consumer Products, profit about $1.69. They beat by 9 cents. Revenue above as well. They got a dividend coming in at $1.14 from $1.07. They are trading higher this morning. KMB is their symbol. Been a little bit of a tough go around, but you zoom it in this morning and we're up a bit on their numbers to 133.90. Some of the other stories out there going on this morning, you have Merck. Now, this is an interesting one. So Merck is ending their vaccine program, citing inferior immune response. So they were late to the party here in terms of when they came in with the development of 2 COVID-19 vaccines. They're going to end that development after it came out. That basically, Merck said in a statement, it's going to record a pre-tax discontinuation charge in the fourth quarter. In early trials, both vaccines generated immune responses that were inferior to those seen in people who had recovered, as well as those reported from other COVID-19 vaccines. I was chatting with some friends this morning and just saying, you know, we're on the other side of this in that we now have the vaccines at this point. There's all these strains that are coming out that we are going to overcome this thing. We just got to get people vaccinated, and we are. But in a different universe, man, you know, and for the vaccines, I mean, the U.S. now is at 22.4 million shots. Now, that's, I believe, first shots or total shots, not second shots, not completely vaccinated people. But you're talking about 1.16 million doses per day administered. And when you get down in terms of where you are in terms of the states, Bloomberg's got a great tracker going on over here. So nationwide, you're looking at basically about 6 to 7 people per 100, right? The goal is to get to almost 80%, if possible, vaccination. We're at about 6 to 7% right now. And when you break down what states are where, you got some people ahead of the curve, some states ahead of the curve, some states behind the curve. You get into Florida, we're at about 7.19 doses. New York, you're at 7.53. Alaska, remarkably leading the way at almost 13 doses per 100 people. And it looks to be Nevada on the low side of that at just under 5 per 100 people. The point being, though, it's remarkable when you think about if this happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, the mRNA technology, the gene splicing and so forth was not available. And it's almost unimaginable to think of what the world would have been like. Now, listen, this reality we're living in is pretty unimaginable only 12 months ago. But if we didn't have that type of technology to literally be splicing and editing the mRNA, and I don't even understand it fundamentally well enough to talk about it, but just the technology that's going into the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, you see that it's not just a no-brainer, as in Merck tries to do it. No, they can't do it. They didn't produce the vaccine. It didn't happen. They weren't even getting the type of immune response that people have who are recovering from COVID. And then you combine into that if we get this pandemic like 10, 15 years ago where people just can't work from home, everybody's not on a mobile phone, it's tough to imagine it would have been even worse. And this has been pretty hellish year for a lot of people in the last 12 months. But it's kind of surprising a company like Merck could just fail, and it's not a no-brainer. So thankfully, we seem to have the vaccines. They're moving at a pretty quick pace at this point, 1.16 million doses per day. President Biden, his goal, 100 million doses in 100 days, seems to be hopefully something that they're setting the bar pretty low. Because if you're averaging 1.16 million doses per day right now, I really look forward to the day when we have huge mass vaccination sites set up where they can do 12,000 people a day maybe. You're talking about Disneyland in California, right? You're talking about Gillette Stadium up in New England, in Boston, Foxborough, et cetera. Encouraging data out there as we're at 22.4 million shots right now and 65 million when you talk about across the globe, with more than 3 million a day getting vaccinated. All right, jumping back to some of the other companies making news this morning. Scrolling down. Yeah, Uber laid off some people, 185 people when they acquired Postmates. That's about 15% of the Postmates workforce. It's to be expected when you have a company buying a competitor and consolidating the workforce to save money. Uber shares pretty unchanged on that story this morning, up to about down to about $54 from $54.31. All right, what else we have going on? So it's a huge week of just basically fundamental data. As I mentioned, more than 100 S&P companies reporting, almost half of the Dow companies reporting, 13 Dow companies reporting. The biggest names, we get Microsoft tomorrow. Microsoft shares, putting this on a daily, were higher this morning from 225 to 229 right now. 226 almost on Friday, so we're up almost $3. Microsoft just climbing above this consolidation that we have going on since about June. Remarkable, right? But inching above that area, the all-time high of 232. We're going to be inching right near that level as we come into earnings. Interesting that it's pushing right up to all-time highs coming into earnings. And then we get Apple on Wednesday. We're making new all-time highs today, folks. Remarkable. 142 is the bid right now. 142.74. You see the acceleration for Apple shares. Facebook shares trading a little bit higher from 274.50 to 278. They are also out with their numbers on Friday. Facebook, not quite the same scenario. They were up to 304 in August, and they've backed off a bit. And then the king dog, well, Amazon, Tesla, they're both the king dog lately. Tesla shares. We're going to be pushing all-time highs again today. We're up to 856 right now, the all-time high of 884. We're talking about for Tesla shares, putting it on a 15-minute. They'll be coming out with their numbers on Wednesday. Apple, Facebook, Tesla. Should be an exciting one on Wednesday. What else we have is we have a FOMC meeting. So the Fed's meeting this week. They'll start the meeting tomorrow. 2-day meeting, Tuesday and Wednesday. press conference on Wednesday for the Fed. And the other thing we get is we get GDP numbers. So we get fourth quarter GDP, which is the final 3 months of 2020. We're going to get that on Thursday. I believe that's Thursday morning at 8:30. We're going to get that on Thursday. Economists are going to be looking for growth of 4.2% in the final 3 months of 2020. So we get fourth quarter GDP for 2020 coming out Thursday. Market's looking for about a 4.2% growth. That was following, just getting the full numbers here. Yeah, so the third quarter, we saw a rise of 33.1%, right? Because that was the months of July, August, and September. Yes, July, August, and September, 33.1% spike. The 3 months prior, you had a record plunge of 31.4%. So we'll get those numbers on Thursday. So Fed meeting Tuesday and Wednesday. Microsoft on Tuesday. Apple, Facebook, Tesla on Wednesday. Fourth quarter GDP on Thursday. Watch out, folks. We'll be right back to finish up the show. Stay tuned.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
you see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. So quite a football Sunday. If you checked it out, Tampa Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl for the 10th time, folks. The 10th time that he will be in the Super Bowl. He is breaking records every year. Remarkable year that Tampa Bay sports are having. Stanley Cup champions, made it to the championship in baseball and lost. Now they're in the championship in Tampa. First team to play in the Super Bowl in their own hometown. And just remarkable game overall. If you saw the Tampa Bay Green Bay game, all right, and if you're into numbers and statistics and probabilities, Green Bay had the ball down by 8 points, coming in to score. They are within the 10-yard line. They're on about the 8-yard line, and there's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. They're down by 8, and they have a 4th down, and they decide to kick a field goal to make it that they're down by 5 with less than 3 minutes left. Instead of going forward on 4th down, they would have needed another touchdown anyway. Folks, I'm telling you, as somebody that's in the market that deals with probabilities, that deals with the statistics, very difficult to imagine those Green Bay fans out there, because I think that was an error of monumental magnitude to not try and go for it on 4th down by 8 points with the score. Aaron Rodgers probably very frustrated, but those are the decisions a head coach lives with. Tampa Bay going on to the championship, and Mahomes, he will be defending his title for Kansas City. The remarkable thing here is that Kansas City, if you recall, folks, we've got a lot of New England fans out there. They had hosted their 3rd straight AFC title game last night against the Bills. Bills Nation, great run for them. That quarterback, Allen, for the Bills, he is going to be a star, man. But KC, if you recall, the last time the Patriots won the Super Bowl, folks, just to bring it into fruition, KC could easily be going for their 3rd Super Bowl. When they played New England 3 years ago in the AFC title game, you go to overtime, you flip a coin, Tom Brady wins the coin toss, goes down the field, scores a touchdown, and Mahomes doesn't even get to touch the ball in overtime. So, man, this is going to be quite a matchup. Brady, Mahomes, 2 weeks from Sunday. Stay tuned, folks. We got our man Larry Pesavento. He's coming up next with Trade What You See. We'll be right back, folks.